The day the Mongols were finally stopped. The first light of dawn spread across the Valley of Ain Jalut on the morning of September 3rd, 1260. A gentle mist hovered above the fields, while the surrounding hills stood silent, hiding what would soon become one of the greatest military confrontations in medieval history. To an ordinary traveler, the valley appeared peaceful, with its green plains and natural springs. But beneath that calm surface, thousands of soldiers waited in absolute silence, knowing that before the sun set, many of them would never see another sunrise. At that critical moment, the only major Muslim power still capable of resisting was the Mamluk Sultanate of Egypt. The Mamluks were not born as rulers. Originally, they had been enslaved boys brought from the Turkic and Caucasian regions, trained from childhood to become elite cavalry warriors. Through discipline, military skill, and political strength, they eventually seized control of Egypt and built one of the most powerful armies of their age. In 1260, Sultan Qutuz realized that waiting behind Egypt's borders would only allow the Mongols to grow stronger. Instead, he made the bold decision to march north and confront them before they invaded Egypt. Alongside him was one of history's greatest military commanders, General Baibars, whose intelligence, courage, and tactical brilliance would soon change the fate of the Islamic world. Before the battle, Hulagu Khan demanded that Egypt surrender without resistance. His message warned that anyone who opposed the Mongols would be completely destroyed, just as Baghdad had been. Sultan Qutuz refused to surrender. According to historical accounts, he executed the Mongol envoys and displayed their heads on the gates of Cairo, sending a clear message that Egypt would fight to the end. Soon afterward, Hulagu returned east with much of his army because of political developments within the Mongol Empire following the death of the great Khan Munka. He left a smaller but highly experienced force under the command of the Christian Mongol general Kitbuqa to maintain control of Syria and continue the campaign. The two armies finally met on September 3rd, 1260, in the Valley of Ain Jalut, meaning the Spring of Goliath, located in present-day northern Israel. The battlefield was surrounded by hills and vegetation, making it ideal for an ambush. General Baibars carefully selected this location because it reduced the Mongols' ability to use their famous open-field cavalry tactics. The Mamluks concealed a large portion of their forces behind the hills, while Baibars led the advance guard to provoke the Mongols into attacking. As expected, Kitbuqa ordered a powerful cavalry charge. Baibars and his men fought fiercely before beginning a controlled retreat. Believing that the Mamluks were breaking, the Mongols pursued them deeper into the valley. Suddenly, the hidden Mamluk forces emerged from both sides of the battlefield. War drums echoed across the valley as thousands of cavalry charged into the exposed Mongol army. Sultan Qutuz himself is said to have removed his helmet and shouted, "O Islam!" as he personally led the decisive attack. The battle quickly turned into fierce hand-to-hand combat. The Mongols resisted with extraordinary determination, but they found themselves trapped and surrounded. Their commander, Kitbuqa, refused to retreat and continued fighting until he was captured and executed. With their leader dead and their formation collapsing, the Mongol army was decisively defeated. For the first time in history, a major Mongol field army had suffered a crushing defeat in open battle. The victory at Ain Jalut transformed the balance of power in the Middle East. The Mamluks immediately recaptured Damascus and much of Syria, ending Mongol expansion toward Egypt and North Africa. The battle proved that the Mongols were not invincible and inspired other nations to resist them. In the years that followed, the Mamluks successfully defended the region against several additional Mongol invasions, establishing themselves as the dominant military power of the Eastern Mediterranean. Sultan Qutuz's triumph was short-lived, however, as he was assassinated during the return journey to Egypt. General Baibars later became Sultan and ruled with remarkable success, strengthening the Mamluk state and expanding its influence. Historians continue to debate how different the world might have been if the Mongols had won at Ain Jalut. A Mongol victory could have opened the road to Egypt, the wealthiest and most powerful Muslim kingdom remaining in the region, potentially changing the political, cultural, and religious history of the Middle East and beyond. Instead, the Mamluks preserved their independence, protected the holy cities under Muslim control, and created a powerful state that lasted for more than 2 centuries. Today, the Battle of Ain Jalut is remembered not simply as a military victory, but as one of history's greatest turning points. A battle where courage, leadership, strategy, and determination stopped the advance of the world's most feared empire and changed the course of history forever.